Okay, it says it's running now.
Cordon was after the Phoenix. All right, we will resume.
Cordon was after the Phoenix. It was lost the city.
All right. The end of volume 2. There's also the
Sorry, you said we're across this in the lake.
So we're across Lake Michigan from Colossal City in the city known as Arsenal City, and that is where we're going to be in. So basically, the premise for all of this is, and if some of you are just like brand fresh into your characters, haven't worked out their backstory yet, you are all probably fairly new heroes operating within Arsenal City for reasons of your own. Maybe you are. Maybe you're just motivated to heroism through altruism. Maybe there's a tragedy in your past that you were, or a wrong that you are now trying to right. But for whatever reason, you have you've chosen to put on a costume and act like those crazy people across the water in Colossal. Okay. So, Arsenal City. It's a town that's seen better days. Back when we were fighting Hitler now, that's how it got its name. The Arsenal of America made more guns, tanks, planes, and bombs, even their big sister across the lake. We were the hard-working, hard-fighting, blue-collar heart of America. And we did it without one half of the crazy of those people over in Colossal. But maybe that was part of our problem. Maybe that was where we went wrong. Without a little bit of the crazy to keep us going, to keep us changing, like we woke up one day and found that the world had moved on without us. These have been some rough years. People leaving, kids growing up without one or both parents, factories shutting down, jobs going overseas. And then the Cordon happened. I can't tell you exactly what went down there in Colossal City, but as far as the evening news is concerned, some guy named Wolfram came in with a private army, killed a bunch of the heroes, and took over the city. And just like that, people remembered Arsenal City was here again. The National Guard needed a base of operations to maintain the Cordon, with people coming to town to look for relatives, refugees who got out before the roadblocks went up, and then the crazy started. Call it overflow, call it opportunists. Anyone who wasn't big enough or tough enough to make it in Colossal City started showing up in Arsenal, making trouble. Heck, I even had to break out the old suit again a couple of times. Don't tell Large. But there are things in this city that, well, I don't know how to explain it. They're older, more sinister, not just crazy, if you get my drift, but really scary. I don't really know when those things came into my city or exactly how they got here, but they're here now, and there's no turning back the clock. All we can try to do is shine a little light into the dark places. This here's the story of one of those times. Yes. All right, so we're going to begin as you lot are kind of patrolling the area around the Jefferson Corridor. So this is a map of Arsenal, and the Jefferson Corridor is this range of blocks that are kind of right here along the river. The Jefferson Corridor is kind of a riverfront area. It's very low income. There tends to be a fair amount of crime, but most importantly, the Jefferson Corridor is the place where if crazy things do come across, or try, refugees or what have you, try to sneak in from the city that's in the Cordon, this is generally where they land.
What's the time period between the last game?
This is about 2 weeks after your last run-in with the members of the Jade Dragon.
Destruction will probably still be prominent. The destruction will
You don't
probably be prominent.
That's what she said.
Yes, that's what I said, but he doesn't know.
She
You don't know
leaves
what
a
that means.
mark.
That's fine.
She's efficient, but she leaves a mark.
I just remember.
Just to let you know, the I and
I have no.
the I and Lady Carnelion know each other.
So, you guys are out in patrol. I guess the first thing I would ask is, do any of you know each other beforehand? If so, this is the time to say it. And if so, are you out on patrol together? Are you out on patrol separately? Or do you just
know each other in our secret identities?
Yeah, we.
Or we don't know each other in the States.
Oh, so y'all do know each other
But
and their
not-
secret identities, but not in their suits.
I think everybody knows me.
So your character as a rhinoceros-faced mutant.
You said you had a crush.
You might actually live down here. Like this is the kind of place. It's low income enough that is the kind of neighborhood you could live in with a large rhinoceros horn and earn
We cross
ladies
paths.
and
We
people.
cross paths.
It's not that you wouldn't be noticed,
We're on
but
friendly terms.
it's not like living in like Uptown or something like that. Like people are gonna leave you alone.
Yeah, so I mean, is my head like literally like a rhinoceros head? Or do I have a human face?
You are some kind of fusion of
That-
human and rhinoceros. I
You
will
can decide
leave the
what-
details up to you
Is it like oddly attractive?
if you're into that.
Lucy and I have crossed paths before, so I know
Okay.
who.
As heroes or as
Wait, your name is actually.
Yeah, here.
Seriously?
okay. All right.
What? I had to pick a name.
Okay.
Her hero's
So-
the white sword.
So, is anybody bored?
Bored?
Yeah.
I'm
Or are you bored?
a college
I'm
student,
bored.
so I'm bored.
I'm super.
Like, y'all, does anybody?
I started the
know-
trend
I'm
of
a
being
famous
red. Actually, no, I
rock
didn't.
star,
That was.
Well, can you
Yeah.
describe
You're
it?
familiar.
You know what?
You don't necessarily.
I was
follow.
gonna.
Do what? What about you?
I've got a
Yeah,
middle
you
class.
can.
Oh, you know what? I bet we know each other. Because she lives in the Jefferson
Benefit
Corridor.
3 million.
Cool.
Wait.
I'm kind of
Yep. You are in
middle
fact a millionaire.
Not
You
poor.
said you were well off.
Well,
Yeah, but now that everybody's well.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, well, like every time I ask,
That
somebody's
could
like,
mean
oh,
that.
Thing is, I'm
Well,
more than well.
Rich is an
Like,
actual benefit that you have to pay for.
I'm just like
Right.
middle class.
Well,
I'm not-
So if you don't have it on your
I
sheet, then you're just normal.
Like there's
I'm middle class.
Well, how about we know each other?
So you mean we're like
No,
out
I was
out
never
walking
taking
together?
Well, so that's up to you. Like, if you're patrolling, we're gonna assume that you're all on patrol or in the neighborhood for some heroic reason. So I'll leave it up to you to kind of decide what that is. This is a fairly high crime area, and it's an area where weird things are known to happen. So it's a totally reasonable place to be on patrol. Now there are 8 of you, which is like a crazy number of heroes, but
So I'm out walking my dog,
I have no secret identity.
and
Yeah.
you're in the
Named your dog
recon
after your
video.
best friend.
You named
I mean.
your dog
do I
after
know you?
Kyle the Magnificent,
Why?
Well,
He's
we
the
could
best.
be more
the Griffin.
I don't even know who that
I think I'm
is.
just.
He's the biggest hero, and you're in the recon band.
so
We are communicators.
are you in a recon
Our real
band?
names.
I mean, it seems
But
like
we
not
haven't actually
a great
met
role for
zero
somebody
yet.
who's basically a living weapon.
No, I'm not.
You'll recognize
Never
me.
mind.
Yeah, so you won't recognize me.
All right, so Rhinoceros Girl, where are you?
I live there.
Okay, so you lived in the area.
Yeah, it's
Lady
not-
Carnelion, I assume you're on patrol.
Yeah, we are looking for ninjas, right?
That seems
Yeah,
totally
we're
reasonable.
totally
Yeah,
looking for
yeah, I
ninjas,
and
and
Lady
she's making
Carnelion
very,
is
very
together.
certain that nobody who knows her by the name Firewalker is around.
Okay,
Are
Makes
we
sense.
in costume or incognito?
Seriously, that's a way
It's
cooler
up to you.
name. You
Lady
should.
Carnelion doesn't know how to
Are
be
you
incognito.
incognito? I guess so.
I'm just like this.
Put in row one.
I don't know what that means.
So I guess
I'm
pull
not
out
pulling power
incognito.
shit. You can't see my power
She
shit.
was
So
in
that
a
means
t-shirt for a little while.
Okay, you're in just normal civilian
I'm walking.
clothes.
I'm walking my dog.
You're walking your dog in civilian clothes. You're a millionaire in the
Say
lowest
mine is just
income
like middle class.
part of town. Okay,
Just
sure.
a nice
Yeah,
posh.
you're waiting to
She's
get
not
on.
more,
Is what you
Yeah,
are.
he's like president.
Where are you?
I am, Drew has contacted me and.
Incognito.
So I'm waiting to, on the corner waiting to meet up.
Okay.
Her name is Brew.
Look
And
at
red
red
hair.
You used to work.
Don't worry.
Red
I'll get my
hair. I think red hair first.
Ladybird, you're up in the air.
I'm up in the air.
Harmony, what is the character's
Flying.
side,
Yeah,
right?
My cool
Like-
What are you doing?
In real life or like in,
Right.
oh, I
But green.
Okay, side, what are you doing?
I'm probably in patrol
Okay,
in my bright purple costume.
all right. And, yeah, what are you, or, what was your superhero name? Reverb, what are you doing? Are you on patrol?
you're actually.
You gotta make a decision, Christian. What do you wanna be doing? There's not really a wrong answer, I just need to know.
I am playing my.
Guitar under a
Sorry.
street light with a
In the
hat
middle
on
of the
Monday?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, you're standing on a street corner, playing your guitar.
It's
At
a
11
electric
o'clock at night.
guitar.
I mean,
It is like 11 o'clock at night, so it's.
Yeah.
Alright, very good. So,
The guy on the park bench is like, go.
yes, he goes. Alright, so for whatever reason, you all find yourselves in the Jefferson Corridor area at about 11 p.m. one Sunday night. and there is, and the relative peace, except for the wailing, sick, what do you call them? I don't know, sick,
whatever guitar stuff.
Electric.
no, like some sick
Metal
tunes.
riffs.
Thank you. Yeah, except for the dulcet riffs of, I don't know rock things, except for the dulcet riffs of Reverb's guitar. The night is fairly quiet. I mean, you hear like alley cats fighting, a siren in the distance. You can hear the kind of the slow wash of the tide coming in and out of the river as, yeah, a millionaire through the worst part of town. Anyway, that's okay. This is basically like all the reasons people show up for things on the forum. Like, why are you here? As a college student, field trip at 11 o'clock at night in the Patrick. Anyway, so, when the silence of the night is interrupted by the sounds of an enormous explosion. As the side of, there's an old warehouse right down by the edge of the docks. It looks to be abandoned. And there is this ball of orange flame that erupts out the sides. The glass panes along the upper floor of the warehouse completely shatter, and a huge hole is blown in the wall.
Wait, what warehouse?
This is a warehouse down at the waterfront. Within all of your range of sight or hearing. And as the explosion rocks the block, a hole appears in the side of the warehouse, and out of it steps, or actually more like runs, what appears to be about a 4.5 to 5 foot tall anthropoid rat, accompanied by 4 men who are all wearing basically rubber rat masks. And coming behind them, you see 4 men in power armor. And the men in power armor are firing from blasters mounted on their arms as the rat man and his accomplices scurry out into the darkness.
So these people are shooting at them, like chasing
Yes.
them? Oh, they're chasing them.
And they're like turning back over the shoulder and firing.
Oh, okay. So wait, what is the building that they're coming out of?
It's just an old, seemingly abandoned, everyone believed it was an abandoned warehouse.
How are these guys are shooting at the rats?
Yes. And they're chasing them, and the rats are
Doesn't
shooting
mean
them.
they're
Oh,
good.
okay. I was confused. I thought
Gang
they were
fights
with-
happen all the
No.
time.
Okay.
So there's the rat man and his 4 accomplices in basically rubber rat masks, and then there are 4 people in power armor who are firing at them.
Suddenly I
Are
feel
there,
so weird.
any,
It's the weird part of town.
any way to recognize people in power armor using search lights?
out.
Like, would you recognize either of the rats?
Give me a street rifle.
Oh, I have, 12 plus 4, I think. Yeah, 16?
Gets in the way of making out.
You don't recognize either of these groups.
I think anyone wants to make out.
I would like to sneak.
All right, so let's go and roll initiative just for turn order,
Okay.
and then you guys can tell me what you're doing. So roll a d20 and add your initiative.
17
bonus.
plus
16.
It's the same as your agility.
16 plus 6, 22.
So 1. All right, so hold on. Let me get yours.
21.
All right.
Your initiative isn't on your sheet.
Do you?
I don't have initiative, Richard.
It's the same as your agility.
So 2.
So I got another 2.
All right. Hope.
20.
Very nice.
I don't have like 10.
Speedsters, man.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Reverb. Initiative.
I have like a 5 initiative. I just rolled a 5.
15. So I roll great initiative.
I like how the dice despair has already begun. It's just the first roll of the day.
9.
What?
22.
And what is your hero name?
The white sword.
The white sword.
Yes. I used a superhero named it earlier.
And you
Seems
have a
legit.
sword?
Agent 6.
I
10.
am a living weapon.
Okay.
That is
Agent
awesome.
6?
So,
Agent
I'm a
6.
living.
so just because I don't have to have it, it should just come with some weapons.
Backstory.
Holy names, I dig it.
But
Wait, agent what?
Agent 6.
That's classic.
I know, that's why we don't
Batman and Superman.
But you can always change it.
I worked
You're
with
going
that
to-
one Agent 6.
Rhino Girl.
It always is.
That one sketchy agency. Okay.
Like, you know what?
That like has underwater
I don't
headquarters.
feel like I've really earned these, so Rhino Girl would be good basically just.
You're driving our
So Batman never would have gone.
Yeah, this is true.
He didn't even look like a bat.
What do you
It was
think?
the,
Even the mask on. She looks like a random wolf tonight.
woo! True, I'm better than that.
Oh, that.
We don't have a team yet.
The event.
Sure we do.
We're all a team?
No.
Yeah. Yeah,
Totally
they're a team.
No, you're a duo.
We're
not a team,
number
because-
two.
We're the dynamic duo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so at the top of the round, the rat-faced man looks over his shoulder and pulls out what appears to be some kind of a sophisticated high-tech blaster from his belt, looks over his shoulder and fires at one of the men in power armor. So that's a 28 to hit. So that's definitely gonna hit. And then toughness is
So I,
hold on against team
So the question is, did we kill them or?
the blast of energy, you see it hit one of
they're all bad.
the men in power
Just
armor,
assume they're all bad.
and his left arm goes limp at his side as his body, as the impact kind of rocks his body. The white sword, you are up.
So I have no idea what any of my power devices are. Can you explain these to me?
Sure.
So I know what I can do.
This is it's pretty straightforward for you. This is basically all stuff that
It would be.
enhances your ability to fight. Like your main thing is that you're a living weapon. So you are the weapon. Like you don't need weapons because you are the weapon. Multi-attack means that you could attack multiple opponents at once. If you do, you take a -1 penalty for each attack for every foe that you attack. So if you
Minus
were
one from what?
from your +10. Selective means you can choose not to do your full damage. So normally you would do 7 damage, which is a pretty fair amount of damage. But you can choose if you just want to knock somebody out, not kill them, you can choose to do less damage. That's what selective means. Let's hear Tactical Mastermind. Let's see here. Enhanced initiative. This is already factored into your character, your stats up here.
After
So you don't need to worry about those.
What does that
Which is
mean?
roll.
Ladybird is still alive, it's in pack racket, you can mention her.
Enhanced intelligence. Normally your intelligence would have been 1, but now it's 3. Enhanced awareness, same thing. Enhanced advantages, 3, and then you have defensive roll 2. So that means if you get hit by something, you would take damage. If you're able to roll out of the way, you can add 2 to your toughness roll. Uncanny sense is 5, so you have danger sense and detect weakness. So you can make a roll.
What is that for 5? Uncanny sense is 5.
That's the amount of points that was spent on uncanny senses, and this is what it actually gives
What do
you.
you mean is spent on?
When you build your characters, you have a certain number of points that you have to spend to build things. So you don't need to worry about
I'm
this.
an
per
inviter
se.
to the antique shop.
So what it means practically is that you have the danger sense, so you're really difficult to surprise or take by surprise. And you can also spend an action to try to see if you can see a weakness in something. So that's uncanny dodge is an advantage that allows you to reduce damage and stuff.
And like you,
She doesn't know.
That's just explaining the kind of detect weakness that you have. So basically, if you say I want to use detect weakness, I'll look up detect weakness in the rule book and ask you questions about what's on your sheet. But otherwise, you don't need to worry
Jack
about that.
and his parents own like.
That's also factored into
shop
this up
there,
here.
arsenal.
So then you have advantages, and again, advantages. Basically, if you want to know what one does, Sophie has a link that she can look it up for you, and you can read the text of it.
But what is the advantages? Do they add any kind of like?
No, they let you do things.
Okay.
So you can make it all up, and some of these are explained on here. So you, oh well, you don't agree too. So there's all out attack, which would be you're focusing everything on attacking instead of defending. So you have all out attack 1, right? So you could take a +1 to your 2 hit bonus to reducing your defense by 1 on your next turn. So in other words, you're focusing more on attacking than you are on defense.
So.
And similar kind of things. Fearless means it's really hard to frighten you. Improved critical. That would go towards your close combat. So that means you get a crit on a 19 or a 20 on the die. So if you roll a natural 19 or a natural 20 on the die, it's a critical hit. So you can do if you want to.
Be a big game.
Ultimate effort, toughness checks. We're not playing with effort today because it's complicated. Die hard is just really
Well,
kill
maybe
you.
you went on like
Take
practice
down
session,
is
right?
a special martial arts move. Anyway, like I said,
I'm
so
not
he's
sure
got
how
a link,
old
and
you
I
have
put a
to
link in the
be.
roll
Yeah.
chat as well. So if you click on it, you can look up your specific
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah.
All right, so white
You
sword,
actually grew up in.
you're up first.
What is this maybe, the history, what's that?
You know some things about history, so you can make a roll.
I'm
Okay.
criminal psychologist.
Or maybe.
I have those.
Means you're a psychologist.
Yes, that's what that means.
But I have an expertise in criminal psychology.
That way you still have the connection to our city, but you stay.
All right, white sword, what you doing? Do you step in or just want to observe for now?
I see the explosion and I decide to suit up.
So you're suiting up, and that brings us to the rats. The men in rat faces are going to, like, they scramble forward trying to get out of the way of the guys in power armor, and as they do, one of them pulls a out of a grenade with his teeth and chucks it over his shoulder. At the guys behind him, it bounces off the ground right in front of the one of the guys in power armor, and it keeps going and lands right in the middle of the street. And there are like 3 hobos kind of sleeping there next to where the grenades landed. The eye is your turn.
Has it exploded yet?
No.
There's only one grenade. So if someone is Superman, just cuff it in there.
What are you doing?
Somebody like Carnelion.
Go.
Or your vital grenade.
No, or just like the
Stealthing.
Where are you going?
I'm going to try. So the building is right here. There's a hole, and then there's a street.
Yep.
And then
And they're all like coming out of the hole. The grenade landed in the street. There are 3 hobos sleeping there.
Okay. Would there be some sort of alley this way, like the streets here?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably,
kind of alleys.
yeah. I mean,
So I'm going to sort of
Dumpsters.
be on the other side of the street in the alley, and I'm going to be hidden. And
okay, is that all you do? Give me a stealth roll.
With the knife, cut out.
I should have taken.
You should have taken the 14.
I have this thing where I can automatically take 14 for my stealth check, but
So he knocks over the trash can and they hear him.
Actually, you should be stealthing. What's wrong with you?
He's trying.
oh, but that's
So it's +4, right?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Pretty good.
Should have taken the 14,
What
guys.
do you mean? Like,
What did you do, I think?
move closer.
But he was trying to hide.
So I can follow them.
Ladybird, you're up.
I'm going to just sit like a vulture on a dead corpse and then take my little blaster things.
Wait, is there dead glass?
There are no
Blaster
dead corpses.
Well, no, there will be. Not really. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay, so who are you blasting?
The rat.
The rat guy.
Did
Right.
the name guy?
Yes.
All right, you land and raise your blaster. Go ahead and give me
Like
a.
plasma.
Now you just look like you're part of the power.
It's going to be a
armor.
DC 23.
I don't know.
That means you need a 23 to hit.
13 plus
What's your range combat?
range combat 2.
So you miss. You fire, and as you do, with like unnatural speed, he kind of moves up in a circle, flips around, using his tail for balance, lands again on 3 limbs, and raises his blaster and points at you. Reverb, you're up.
And then duck into that alleyway and suit up.
Okay, you duck into an alleyway to suit up. Rhino Girl, are you just like jogging, bringing groceries home?
Yeah.
Alright, so what are you doing? Like
She
there's
dropped the
all kinds
eggs.
of crazy stuff. There are now 5 people in power armor shooting at rats.
Yes. Are the rats my friends?
Give me a. Do you have a streetwise skill? If you don't, just give me a d20 and add your intellect.
No, flip your page.
I mean, Sierra's really smart about stuff on the street.
She doesn't have any extra skills.
Where would you see it? It is not written more down.
Okay. So intellect would be 0 intellect.
Give me a straight d20 roll.
Right on.
You've never heard of these people
I'm just
before. But your neighborhood is getting shot up. There's a grenade on the ground. What are you doing?
Looks totally normal. That's a good question. What do I just ram people? Is that how I fight?
That's your main attack.
Don't forget about the grenade people.
There is a grenade, and at some point it's going to
Hobos
go
are gonna
off.
die.
Hobos will die.
Whatever could be.
I was gonna.
Yeah, one of
Is
them
there
could be your
somewhere
friend.
like can I take a blow from a grenade or would that hurt?
It would hurt.
I mean, it is willing to find out.
I was gonna rush it into the river.
Can you shoot a grenade?
I don't
If
think
you
you
have a
have that
grenade,
ability.
if you
But...
have a grenade launcher.
Oh, you want to shoot a grenade with your ray gun? You could.
That would blast.
That would
You
blow
could
it
for
up.
sure do that.
You see this thing bleed out into its space. It's not good.
Uh,
I like you. I'm glad you're here.
You can't join our team.
Wait, what?
You can't join our team.
And do all the ratmen have that thing that they are shooting at the blaster guys?
The only one that has the blaster seems to be the guy who's an actual rat. The other guys just have like guns and grenades and seem fairly heavily armed. But this is Arsenal City, so
Well, I'm gonna assume since they're running away that they're the bad guys and one is a rat. So,
Yeah, you're right.
Discrimination.
well, I can because I'm more animal. So,
whoa, that got dark.
I guess I'm gonna charge one of them.
Okay, who are you charging?
Let all of your
Closest
focus.
one to just not.
Okay, so you're charging the actual rat guy or one of the goons?
Capture you, it'll be easy to get.
Yeah, I think one of the games.
Okay, go ahead and give me an attack roll.
I'm taking out that.
Okay, so attack roll is just d20,
Yep, d20 plus your attack.
which is, wait, where's mine?
This feels like the line recently we felt on all these heroes just like dog pile.
Oh,
Except they're
so
like.
You guys don't even know what size.
We
So
don't
your
know.
forward is plus 6 to hit.
oh, see, that's it.
18, 19, or 20
Well,
you get a critical.
if you start shooting at me, he's no longer a good guy in my mind. He
18?
was
So that's a
hurting
crit.
other friends of mine in
sorry,
power
where is
But
armor.
then again, it was.
I'm supposed to.
Which one goes in point?
Ronnie, you
I
need to shoot it.
don't remember on the top of my head. I think I have them all written on this character sheet.
Okay. Can I
They're
have the
cute.
character sheet over?
Okay, so you got an 18 plus 6 is 24.
What did you need?
You needed a. You only needed a 13 to hit, so you hit. So how much damage do you normally do? So do you want double damage or do you want some other effect?
Double damage.
Okay,
You're gonna
so he needs to make a
This guy's dead.
toughness
No, it's not
roll.
necessarily. You can make the toughness roll.
Uh,
Survive.
Well, there's no he's gonna make it. So that's right. 14
Well, because
plus
Wait, am I
15.
killing
It's
him?
29. I don't know, we'll find out.
Grace.
Yeah, you smack like a freight train with this guy, and you hear like a crack as his rib cage just caves inward, and he collapses to the ground.
Yeah.
The eye does not work with people who kill. Like that's his rule. So
Yeah,
It wasn't
I'm ready to
actually.
kill.
what did you use?
She's very kind, she just doesn't know her own strength.
Yeah, it's you.
She would have stunned him if she knew what option to pick.
Right, this is my first
I
fight,
got
to be
you.
honest, so I really
She's
don't.
new.
Except for all those animals you have to down and kill with cold blood.
I'm trying to, that's my whole
Okay, go
reason
to your
why I
Google
became a
Drive.
hero, to.
So now you're-
Oh my
So
God.
save the